Good morning. Happy April 18th, and welcome back to the Leaf Riders of Wrenwood, where yesterday we continued on our journey to, is it Ardenstone? Is that what it's called? I guess we can check here. Yes, Ardenstone. And decided to take a more scenic route through the woods. And we had a lovely picnic, and then we had an encounter where we maybe could have been attacked by a bee, but we luckily were able to de-escalate the situation and go by unscathed. So let's see if we have arrived in Ardenstone or if we still have more to do on the way. Okay, we have arrived. So we have Thursday, April 18th, 2024, which is Thorn's Day of Stormfall. And it looks like we see maybe a guard and a merchant or something haggling. Or haggling, probably not the right word, like, you know, having a bit of a confrontation maybe. Let's go ahead and read it. You enter the town of Ardenstone. Before you make it to the town center, you spot what could be some trouble. A merchant hauling a cart is stopped by what looks like a guard. You hear an aggressive conversation. Okay. So, we have a few things to do here. We're going to eavesdrop, then we're going to assess the crowd, and then we're going to investigate. Okay, so let's go ahead and eavesdrop, which will be rolling a d20 and adding dexterity. And it reminds us about the stealthy ability. So we are +4 and we have the option for stealthy. So we should be able to do fairly well here. Okay, a 15, that's got to be good enough already. So +4 puts us to 19. So using stealth and observation skills, you try to overhear the conversation without drawing attention. If the result is 11 or more, the muscular wolf says patronizingly, "How's it going, Finch? Back in business, are we? You know there's a ban on goods related to bugs." The merchant replies with hesitation, "Oh, no, just hauling junk for my sick mother, you know." The wolf continues, "We've all heard the rumors from Crownspire. Insects plotting and threatening the forests of Wrenwood and our safety. We can't knowingly help the enemy by trading with bugs. That means the bees too, right, Finch?" The merchant answers frantically, "But bees aren't insects. We've lived in harmony for ages, and this is my livelihood. You can't take them. You know what Blight is doing to them, right?" The wolf barks back, "Blight Deathclaw is helping the town. He keeps the bees docile, and the town of Ardenstone safe from insects. We'll have to take these from you and let Blight know you are trying to undermine him." Alright, interesting. So there's some anti-insect sentiments going around for sure. Okay. Alright, so now we have number 2, Assess the Crowd, which is rolling a d20, adding wisdom, and it reminds us about the Investigator ability, which we don't have. So this is just going to be a straight d20 plus a wisdom roll for us. Oh, a 19. Well, we'll definitely take that, and that's a 20 with our +1. You analyze the townspeople's reactions, looking for any signs of fear, resentment, or sympathy towards the merchant or the mob leader. If the result is 11 or more, only a few members of the town pass by. Everyone else decides to take an alternate route. All the townsfolk try hard not to be seen looking in this direction. They are scared and intimidated by this wolf. Okay, so this is interesting because nothing in the previous passage definitely told us that that was a mob leader. So it's interesting that it just tells us that in the second bullet point. It's like maybe maybe at least let the lore and the flavor tell you that as well. But that's okay. Um, so we now know this is not a guard. This is a mob leader, and he basically this mob is controlling what's happening in this town, or has heavy influence on it anyway, and is threatening those that interact with insects. Okay, and apparently they are somewhat powerful, uh, because most people are scared of them. So now we need to investigate, which is rolling a d20 and adding intellect. And it also reminds us about the investigator ability, but we don't have that. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's roll a d20, add our intellect here. All right, we rolled a 9. So I'm going to go ahead and use our foresight flower here. We've had this one for a while. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And we can add a d4 to an intellect roll. So we're currently at 9, and that brings us up to 11. Okay, that still doesn't quite do it, so I'm going to go ahead and also use the boon. So we are at 11. This brings us up to 15, so that is enough. So you take the opportunity to discreetly investigate the merchant and the mob leader to gain insights into the dynamics and motivations at play. If the result is 12 or more, your keen observation undercovers the subtleties of the conversation. The merchant is indeed smuggling bees, perhaps for some more significant cause, while the mob leader exploits the situation to his advantage. A corrupt figurehead is responsible for twisting the news from Crownspire for their own gain. This is causing a shadow of fear to spread throughout the town. Okay. Yeah, I mean the biggest insight I think largely is just that this is a this is a mob leader. The biggest insight was not something we learned from the rolls. It was from just the game telling us, hey, this is a mob leader. So we need to not trust this wolf or the guy that the wolf mentioned. What was his name? Blight Deathclaw. I mean, just with that name, it sounds like you shouldn't trust him. But okay, okay. So we have learned some good information about what's going on in Ardenstone. I do see that we could pickpocket, but I don't want to do that. The pickpocket symbol, I generally feel like when the pickpocket symbol is on a specific creature, that's the one we're pickpocketing. I guess I wouldn't mind pickpocketing the wolf. The problem is, from a knowing how the game works, I know that the only downside to pickpocketing is I could lose a virtue. But if I was actually tack like in this situation, I'd be worried that if I pickpocket the wolf and I get found doing so, like I'm gonna be on the bad side of this mob already, and that doesn't seem like a good idea. Not when it's just for a potential few, amber gain. I do realize I did not actually mark off the amber for having hired a new party member. So we hired Ivy right there, and Ivy was 20 amber. So we do need to mark that down to 11 amber here. So let's do that real quick. There we go. All right. And now I believe we are done for the day. So we will have to see how our kind of time in Ardenstone goes. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.